Okay, this is Casey. I'm back with part 2 of Dungeon Moderator 101, Lesson 1. In the last lesson, we went over my intro log and the races that we offer. In this one, we're going to try to go through the rest. First thing we're starting off is classes. I'm not going to read off everything in this. This is a lot of information. But I will go over each one with you, kind of read through a few of the different categories we have, explain some of them, but a lot of them I know you know I'm talking about. The first category we have, each one has a category, and then it splits off into more in-depth things, like it tells you a little bit about mages and wizards and witches and stuff. I'm going to explain a little bit, but like I said, I'm not going to go into too much in-depth detail because we are on a time limit. First class is a magician class, and you got your mages, your wizard, sorcerer, witch, warlock, a sage, all kinds of different musicians. It could even be, an old-fashioned musician, like, I'm going to show you some magic tricks. And then you've got, your enhanced names, like your sorcerer, which is an inheritant gift musician. You got your warlocks, conjurers, which is a summoner, the Vatican magician, which is usually a wizard, and they are usually ones that run in a controlled group. You also find Vatican mages in castles and stuff like that. They run under a duty. You've got the red mage, you've got the blue mage, which the blue mage is slightly different than the red mage. They only go through one class of spells. You got your necromancer, which is more of a dark wizard. They run off of death and dark energy, and it's not necessarily evil, but it's dark magic. You got your illusionist, your elementalist, your druid. Druid's one of my favorite. I also love shaman. There's elementalist. And then we've got the rogue class. Rogue class is thieves, assassins, ninjas. You've got, gamblers and shadows, which are like blades, and the Dark Brotherhood off of Skyrim. You got your bandits, which you've also heard of off of Skyrim, if you know Skyrim. And then there's one of my classes, which is pirate. I'm not going to go into depth on what I have, because you will hear of that in my personalized video on what my character is. You've got a scout, which are highly acrobatic. And then you got your cleric classes. Your clerics are medical. There's holiness to them. They're, religious. You can get, priests and battle mages, or battle priests, excuse me. And then you've got kind of the offset of it, like witch doctors and Templars. Templars are more of a holy cleric, too. Then you got your caster, and there's paladins and stuff like that. Paladin also goes under fighter, because paladin is kind of like your earthy angel. You got your knights and your fencers, your paladins, which we just talked about. A paladin is a holy knight. They're kind of like a fallen angel. And then you got your dark knights, which you can get a dark paladin, which are a satanistic, almost necromancer. They're kind of cool. You've got your dragon knights, which are based off of dragon power. In Skyrim, you are a Dragonblood. Dragonblood is kind of like a Dragon Knight. You got a Barbarian. Barbarians are good fighters, but you would look funny if you had a Barbarian elf. You'd want to stick to like a Dwarf or Orc or a Giant or something of a bigger nature, because Barbarian is supposed to be more robust. Samurai. One of the best races that go with Samurai, we don't offer it in our program, only because we don't want to pull a whole lot of furry in there. Furry can be kind of naughty. Is a Khajiit, and a Khajiit is a cat figure. And I think they make awesome Samurais, but like I said, we're not going to go furry on this. Warlords. Warlords are battle mages. Battle mages are warlords. We do offer battle mage. Like the paper says, warlord. It's just not labeled under war or under battle mage. It's labeled under warlord. We've got so many different ones. The hero one, it's not like Batman or Spider-Man or Superman or anything. It's like a lord, a king, a legendary person. You could probably even get away with doing like a god. You've got your ranger classes, which your ranger classes are also a fighter's class, but they're more of a natural fighter's class. You've got your normal ranger's class. You got your sniper's ranger, which isn't necessarily guns. Sniper ranger we're talking about is arrows. You got your bow and blade ranger. And then you've got your dual wielding, which is 2 melees. You got your trapper, you got your magical. And then you've got your rare classes. And the rare classes are the bottom of the classes. You got your magic knight, which is also a battle mage. You've got your bard, which the bard is like an entertainer. You got a dancer. Dancers are also entertainers. Cantor is between the, a cantor sings, and not just sings, but hymns, acting as a cross between a bard and a priest. Cantors gently have more focus on healing abilities than standard bards. A little bit out of that, it gives you kind of the idea they're kind of a holy singer. A scandal, which is a savage, someone who has a big head, will do things on their own, good writer, jack of all trades. They're pretty much a cross between a bard and a, soldier of some sort. You got your monk, which we all know what a monk is a epic fighter. They usually roll in martial arts. Then you got your beasties. They're creatures that are like non-humans, and we don't offer any like furry creatures, but you could be like, a halfling of some mix. Engineers or tinkers, artifactors, mechanics, stuff like that. They create things. They wield things. You could have them be like a blacksmith or something. Then you've got your alchemist. We know what an alchemist is. We brew and enchant and do all the things that magical beings do. We make potions and we cast spells on you. Sidekicks read minds. A pet master, you could control animals, which would be interesting. You tame a tiger and then make it attack your opponent. Summon things. And then this is something we didn't quite go over. We're going to be going over this in lesson 2, but I'm going to go ahead and go over it to save me a little bit of time. Ailments. Ailments are illnesses that you can acquire during role playing. There is vampirism, and vampirism is, a sickness. It can be fun, but it is a twist to things. You can be going totally good, get bit by a vampire, and then you're stuck with a little bit of darkness in your soul. There is a lot of stuff to this. I'm not going to read through everything. It has everything from how to name it to your personality to whatever you're supposed to expect, even speech tips for it. And then there's wearism. Wearism is a black blood. You cannot control it. It is different from vampirism. Wearism, werewolves, were-bunnies, whatever you decide to be, they shift in the right moments. You can guess when you need to shift. You're supposed to have fun with it. Ailments, yeah, you're sick. You can heal them. We will allow you to heal them. But playing the part is just a chance to switch it up. Yes, I'm fastly scrolling through this. There's a lot of information in here, a lot of tips and stuff. If we need those tips, like later on we're going through everything, I will definitely go through them, but right now I'm not because I am tight on time. Other information. We got some rules. You must attempt to dress your part. You must use proper stats. That means, no adding 100 to your stat just because you think you can. If you have questions on stats, please ask. Please. It's not that hard. Only use some medieval weapons. No cursing, no nudity, no sexual content. We are not doing sexual roleplay here. We're doing fun roleplay. Wait for your turn. When somebody is role-playing and you haven't played yet, you can, talk to the moderator. Be like, hey, I haven't quite got a turn yet. Can I have a turn? They'll work you into it. If you interrupt, then you're going to get booted. It's not fair to the other people who are in the midst of trying to do their thing, too. Administration, we do charge for this. It must be sent to your mod before you can play. There must only be one mod per room unless it is a mod session. Also, keep your KBs low and triggers. No lights. Authorized voice boxes only. No AP clothing. No gaming or no non-gaming attire, which means you can't go in looking like a thug off the streets. You must be dressed before entering the room. If changing, you must have outfit set before changing. Ask to change for crashing prevention. When you get a bunch of people in a room, because of the KBs and it's such a small server, you have to make sure you can change without crashing, because then you'll crash the whole room and there's going to be a bunch of people mad at you. Violent content can only be used in play mode. No jumping violent scenes, which means if you just finish a violent scene and they went to 2 other people, you can't run up and start bashing on somebody. It's not fair. No overuse of violence, no violent triggers, which means we are all verbally saying our violence. We can't go punch somebody in the face. You can't overuse violence. You wait until your turn. You do one swing, let somebody else swing back. Don't be like, I'm going to hit you, knock you on the ground, and kill you all in the same swing. Give them a chance to swing back. No guns. No modern weapons. And no overloading on weapons. You could have like a bow and an arrow and 2 melee weapons or something like that. Don't overload yourself on weapons. I understand, like, you have your 2 melee weapons, your bows and arrows, and you decide to add a garter of throwing knives. But if you're adding samurai swords, a garter knife or garter belt of knives, your crossbow and your bow and arrows, and 3 different saws and stuff, that would be impossible to carry. Triggers and voice boxes. Triggers and voice boxes have to be authorized by DM or mod in room. If you are asked once, do not obey, you will be booted, and your session will be terminated. We do not give refunds because of the fact that it takes 24 hours for us to even be able to send credits after we can get them, and by that time, you will have used up your session because of your fail to follow the rules. These rules are simple, and if you follow them, they will be fine. Please follow my channel on YouTube. This will be posted on it. I do have a Facebook, and these are some of the links that I used for role playing.